remain standing for the posting of the colors and the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Friends, we gather today in joyful communion to celebrate a new chapter for Converse University. May this time together give us hope for the future of who we can be and a deep appreciation for who we have been and always have been historically. This is a time that is set apart. There is a sacredness to this work and to the call that we celebrate today. In gratitude, with open hearts and minds, let us gather this morning.
Good morning. You may be seated. Well, good morning again. I'm Sandra Morelli, class of 1978 and the chair of the Converse Board of Trustees. On behalf of the university, I want to thank everyone who has joined us today for this historic moment in Converse's history. Today, we gather together with family and friends of President Hopkins, as well as alumni, community members, civic leaders, elected officials, members of our Board of Trustees, and of course, Converse's dynamic faculty, staff, and students. I'd also like to recognize the more than 49 distinguished delegates who represent colleges and universities from all over the country, and the very special presence of 3 of our past presidents of Converse, Dr. Sandra Thomas, Nancy Oliver Gray, and Dr. Elizabeth Fleming. Our broad network of steadfast supporters is essential to Converse's vision of advancing a culture of collaboration and belonging. So let's actually have a round of applause for just a moment for everyone here for your commitment to Converse and for all the help that you provide in moving our mission forward. As we celebrate Converse's next president, we also celebrate our legacy of empowering students to become transformational leaders who see clearly, decide wisely, and act justly. I'm truly excited about the university's positive momentum and for what the future holds for this vibrant campus. We found a very special leader in Dr. Hopkins, who, like all those before him, brings a passion, a vision, and a commitment that's needed for this next chapter of Converse's story. My sincere thanks to all of you who have joined us to bring your greetings from your respective communities, and thank you again to all of you for being here with us today as we celebrate the inauguration of our next president.
I have one on the podium and a spare remarks just in case they didn't get it quite right. Always prepared. Good morning. Distinguished faculty, staff, trustees, students, alumni, and the greater Converse community. It is my honor and pleasure to bring greetings today from those who have preceded President Boone Hopkins, leaders in higher education. A robust network of diverse, accessible, and thriving institutions of higher learning is essential to the well-being of our nation and our world. They inspire and equip new generations of citizens to navigate this complex and at times treacherous world with humanity, creativity, and possibility. Today I stand before you as the delegate from Harvard, my undergraduate alma mater, and the oldest university in the United States. I am here also as past president of Converse, which has its own significant legacy of almost 135 years. Being a college president is a difficult job. And while we look good on the outside, beneath these fancy robes, I can assure you there is a whole lot of sweating going on. It has always been so, and yet it feels particularly daunting to navigate the unique circumstances of the world today. We are confronted by growing inequities, increased anxieties, stretched resources, shrinking attention spans, and what seems like the politicization of everything. Our reliance on technology has increased our expectations of a quick fix. But there is rarely an easy solution when it comes to learning and leading. It takes diligence, perseverance, and patience to ask questions, experiment, listen to, and connect with others. It demands a willingness to put yourself on the line and get going when the going gets rough. President Hopkins, as you move forward as Converse's 12th president, know first that you stand on the shoulders of those who have come before you. As Sir Isaac Newton wrote in 1675, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Take advantage of the mountain of experience that precedes you. We were not always right, we made mistakes, but we have been supersized in our commitment to Converse, pouring ourselves into this place and its people. Build on our successes and failures, seek insights from our previous work, borrow as necessary, and make it your own. Pay attention to the history, but do not be bound by it. You can take us even further. Understand that we are cheering you on, seeing your success as our success too. Secondly, know that there is an art and a science to being a leader. an art and a science to being a college president. Each new leader brings something unique to the role. You arrived at Converse during my tenure, and I remember well your vibrancy, curiosity, and leadership potential from that first interview in 2012. You come to the presidency as an artist, bringing experience as an actor, director, set designer, and I understand even a dancer. When things get challenging, there is a tendency to look to science for answers. Sure, take analytics into account, but lean into the art of leadership. Collaborate with others, embrace empathy, inspire deeper levels of understanding, pay attention to different details that might unlock new possibilities. Roll up your sleeves and get messy. Step back and pause on occasion too, reveling in the beauty and uniqueness that this institution offers students, the greater Spartanburg community, and the world. Great art does new things with existing materials, and in doing so, it transforms the people who experience it. This college president work is challenging and awe-inspiring. Know you are not alone and that you will be distinct in how you do the job. Be an artist who leads, taking risks and opening up new ways of seeing and being Converse. Break a leg in theater speak. We look forward to your fancy footwork as president.
Like many of you, I owe much to Converse. I may even owe my own life, if indirectly. My mother, Alicia Fusell, moved to Spartanburg in 1970 to teach art history here. Her first classes were held next door in Wilson Hall. While living at the Georgetown Village Apartments, she met my dad, who was working at Milliken. And so, here I am. My mother grew up in Gainesville, Georgia, Marcia, the same city that gave us the president of the hour, Boone Hopkins. Actually, your president and I are both related to Daniel Boone. I suppose then that Dr. Hopkins and I are kin, hopefully not enough to hurt him. Dr. Hopkins is the right leader at the right time. Like our forebear, Daniel Boone, your president is a trailblazer. His sunny optimism, infectious. His genuine concern for others, palpable. And he has the best possible partner, Dr. Chandra Hopkins. And they have wonderful children. My wife, Eliza, who has taken classes at Converse herself, had the joy of teaching Owen and hopes to teach Jack. Boone is steeped in the liberal arts tradition, and he can communicate the relevance of the liberal arts today and for the future. He is a Renaissance man, and he has ushered in a Renaissance era for Converse. He's kind of like Michelangelo's David. Not just because he's good looking, and he is a good looking dude. Good job, Marcia. But because he personifies the virtues of genius, action, and human potential. Just as Michelangelo wished to unlock the human form from a marble prison through sculpture, Boone can unlock the potential of Converse to lead in new ways while preserving what has made Converse noble. We have broad and deep tensions in our society. The root causes lie in economic dislocation, racial division, rural and urban distinction, and generational disconnect. A lot of people feel left out or left behind. A lot of people are mad. All of this paradoxically in the midst of incredible economic growth and prosperity in certain sectors. These causes manifest in myriad ways. Political extremism, the erosion of public trust in our institutions, brokenness. But there is hope. When I was in college at Davidson, I read the poem written in 1919 after the First World War by W.B. Yeats, entitled The Second Coming, which stated, "The center cannot hold." I did not understand what that meant then. I do now. Nearly 100 years later, we ask, can the center hold? While some of the current tensions may seem novel or even insurmountable, they are in some ways as old as the world. There is nothing new under the sun, the teacher proclaims in Ecclesiastes. We do have a roadmap, however, that can help us depart from these difficulties, and it is the liberal arts education. We need creative thinking, comprehensive solutions, and courage. Most of all, courage. If we are going to bind together our community and our country, we need new leaders who can be the glue which holds the center. You may be one of these leaders who helps deliver us. Yes, it might be easier to bury your head, to do your own thing in your own bubble, or you could put yourself out there and engage and take the incoming for a cause greater than yourself. If you care about our democracy and our country, what will you do? In President Boone Hopkins here at Converse, you have a worthy guide who can help take you by the hand and help you reach your potential as an enlightened servant leader who can encourage you, who can be there for you. We know that all things work together for good for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. Paul wrote as recorded in Romans 8:28. And so let us all endeavor to love God, to love our neighbors, and indeed, in the words of the founder's ideal, to act justly.
Max, I still think they have yours up, as you didn't turn the page. Dr. Hopkins and I are not cousins, as Max has alluded to, but we do enjoy a fine bow tie. And you all wait until you get a look at his bow tie today. Outstanding. I have to step my game up. As mayor of the, good morning, I'm Jerome Rice. As mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my colleagues on city council and the residents in our city, I would like to congratulate Dr. Boone J. Hopkins on his installation as the 12th president of Converse University, and to wish him well as he guides this historic institution of higher learning into our future. Dr. Hopkins takes the reign of Converse at a time of historic growth and renewed optimism in our city, and at a time when the work of preparing our next generation for the future they will inherit, and as perhaps never been more important, as Spartanburg seeks to reach its fullest potential as the best place to live, work, and play in our region, we know that we will never see that potential realized unless our young people are prepared to lead us there. For more than 130 years, Converse University has been an integral part of our success here in Spartanburg. And our people have been enormously enriched by both the presence of this wonderful institution and the marks of its graduates have left on our city for generations and generations to come. Whether it is the incredible performances held at the Twitchell Auditorium, the faculty and the staff who educate and elevate the university's students and make their homes here, or the alumni who goes on to serve as leaders in our city, Spartanburg as we know it today could not exist without Converse. Dr. Hopkins, we are immensely grateful to have you leading one of the foundational pillars of Spartanburg community. As your leadership adds to the rich tapestry of Converse University's legacy, we know that your impact will be felt far beyond the barriers or boundaries of this campus and long past your tenure as president. The work you and everyone at Converse does today will have echoes throughout Spartanburg, in our workplace, in our schools, in our institutions, and in our community's sense of purpose. The legacy of the success Converse University has in Spartanburg can only be seen in all the corners. It can always be seen in all the corners. And as fortune of our city continues to rise, we know that the future we seek is inextricably linked with the seeing that success continue. Dr. Hopkins, your leadership at Converse will help get us there, and all of us are proud to have you helping write Spartanburg's next chapter. Dr. Hopkins, welcome to Spartanburg.
Hello. I bring greetings from our family. What a day. I am honored to represent Boone's family. This includes his father, Benji, and Boone's younger brothers, Mays, Ethan, and Isaac. Also, May's wife, Lauren, and their Henry, and Isaac's wife, Hannah. Also, my only sibling, Tom Roberts, his children, Chris, Brad, and Meg Roberts, and their families. 2 of our many cousins are Converse graduates. Benji's first cousin, Harriet House Gaddy, and my first cousin, Emily Westbrook Fleming. As we see today, special occasions often call for the wearing of ceremonial gowns. Boone and his brothers were all christened as infants in a gown first worn by my mother's father, Leary Mays Boone. Born in 1889, the year Converse was founded. And yes, as we heard before, our family is related to Daniel Boone. Boone's middle name is Jackson, and that's from Benji's grandfather, David Jackson, Jack Hopkins Sr. He served ably as chief of police in our hometown of Gainesville, Georgia, in 1936, when a terrible tornado destroyed the downtown area, taking the lives of over 200 people. From the start, life with Boone has never been boring. Benji and I were surprised when at age 6, Boone followed through with his firm decision to spend the whole night by himself in a tent in our backyard. In elementary school, he began calling family meetings to discuss our vacation plans and to instruct his brothers as to exactly what items they needed to pack. Does it sound familiar? We watched him compete fiercely in academic bowls, in football games, and in wrestling matches. He participated in a variety of camps, some specializing in backpacking, tennis, horseback riding, and even cartooning. Before he could drive, he got a job cleaning the local civic center's ballroom after big events. Not only was that hard physical work, but he had to walk home after midnight. He worked one summer as assistant bailiff for the Superior Court. He's had a lot of jobs. He performed in dozens of plays and directed some. For one, he learned to tap dance and to perform a stunt fall over a balcony. Sometimes it was a little scary. He always enjoyed dressing up. The bow ties and that big grin appeared early and often. Boone was fortunate to have grandparents, teachers, coaches, and community friends who patiently offered encouragement, guidance, and a sense of humor to him during those formative years. We were thrilled when he and Chandra met and decided to spend their lives together. We are eternally grateful for her and for Owen and Jack. Congratulations, Boone. Always respect the honor of having this amazing opportunity. Remember your heritage and the people and experiences that help prepare you for this role. Build upon the strong, deep foundation created by the traditions and individuals associated with this very special place. May your leadership foster a new era of excellence for every facet of the Converse community. Thank you.
Good morning again. My name is Margaret Moore, Associate Professor of Physical Education and the President of the Faculty Senate. For 50 years, I have had the distinct privilege of serving Converse and its students, and now I have the honor of welcoming you to the inauguration of Dr. Boone Hopkins, Converse's 12th, as Chandra said last night, president. I am so proud to share this historic moment with many esteemed guests who have joined us here today. I started at Converse as a member of the Physical Education Department, and over the past several decades, I have watched our campus grow and evolve to meet the needs of an ever-changing world. I have served under 6 presidents and 4 interim presidents. I'm old. I have watched the construction of new residence halls and academic buildings, the renovation of historical landmarks. I was initially a part of the expansion of the athletic department and have watched others build the program and additional athletic facilities. Also during this time, the university has added new majors and a School of the Arts. Finally, the most recent change was to change the name of Converse College to Converse University and to become a co-ed institution. Got to change this paper here. Today, however, it is time to talk about the future and a new chapter in the history of Converse University with the inauguration of our former colleague, Boone Hopkins. We are more than a beautiful campus. We are a vibrant community that spans many generations. It is our commitment to the vision of our founder, Dexter Edgar Converse, that has helped guide and shape Converse into the institution we love and hold so dear, a university that provides students with a transformative education, one that empowers students to become engaged, adaptable citizens who go out and use their voices to make positive change in their communities. We look forward to Dr. Hopkins' leadership and the continued growth and progress that will take place under his guidance. And that's it.
Good morning. I am Lexi Stoneburner, Director of New Student Experiences and Transitions. I've worked at Converse for over 5 years and have had the honor of serving on staff council for the past 3 years, with this past year as staff council vice president. It has been a joy to serve and work alongside dedicated and passionate colleagues who love Converse and want to see it thrive for many years to come. About a year ago, I was sitting in Twitchell, right where you are now, anxious to see and hear who our next president would be. President Hopkins' name was announced, the room went wild with applause, and he and his beautiful family walked across the stage. I was so relieved and excited at that moment because I knew that Converse was in incredibly capable hands. Last summer, I graduated from the first Masters in Management cohort from Converse, where we learned all about different types of leadership from the one and only Dr. Gilliam. When I think about President Hopkins and his leadership, I think about him as an authentic, servant, and empowering leader. Not only is he great fun to have around and can truly liven up a party, but he is humble, kind, and a champion for others. 2 summers ago, the Office of Admissions planned a team day on Lake Jocassee to celebrate our year of hard work, and we invited President Hopkins to come along. He arrived at the dock on our boat day dressed very presidential, with his official Converse polo and khaki pants on, and of course, we all had to give him a very hard time about what he was wearing. He eventually put on his swimsuit and sunglasses, and we enjoyed our day in the sun. Towards the end of the day on the boat, we drove past a very large rock or cliff, and a coworker and I said that we wanted to jump off of it, naturally, right? We then asked if anyone else wanted to join us, and without hesitation, President Hopkins enthusiastically agreed. The 3 of us swam over, climbed to the very top, and all jumped in together. There was lots of shrieking involved, and a video of this does exist in case anyone needs to see it at a later time. That will forever be a core memory for me of my time at Converse, and I think it embodies President Hopkins as a leader so well. He is a leader who wants to be right where the students, staff, and faculty are and join in on the party and conversation. I love that he was excited to be a part of the action and jump off that large rock with us. He also is willing and excited to dress up as Woody from Toy Story for Halloween a few years ago and do a whole theatrical scene with the Student Life Department, all in the name of friendly competition. And we've heard that quite a bit today. He's a very competitive man, right? And of course, I can get behind a leader who wants to do a roast and toast as part of his inauguration celebration and even asks everyone to send in suggestions. On a personal note, he and Dr. C sent flowers to my home this past fall when my son Declan was born, and that meant more to me than they will ever know. So, thank you, President Hopkins and Dr. C, for being leaders who care deeply, love this community and the people in it, and who are wholeheartedly invested in its bright future. Staff Council and the rest of the Converse community are so grateful for you both and your inspiring leadership. We know you will continue to make a difference here and in our people, and make us all so proud. Congratulations.
Good morning and greetings. Greetings from the Alumni Association. I am Samantha Nicholson Larkins. I am a proud Pink Panther and from the class of 2012. I'm thrilled to be here with you this morning, and I have the privilege of formally recognizing and celebrating our newest 12th president, Dr. Boone Hopkins. We are so grateful that Dr. Hopkins, Dr. Chandra Hopkins, and their boys are members of our Converse family, and we welcome their leadership. As an alumna of Converse, I went out into the world proudly bearing my diploma, my class ring, and the distinct confidence of a Converse graduate. Our alumni seem to reach every corner of the world. We comprise of individuals who are strong community leaders, committed spouses, parents managing households, dedicated business persons, outstanding employees, and we are lifelong learners and educators. When I meet fellow alumni, we speak the language of our traditions, and it is as if we are transported back to this very square mile of Spartanburg, South Carolina. We share immediate bonds of our coming of age stories and our experiences here, which ended with a walk across this very stage. Converse has changed from when I graduated in 2012. It's also different from the Converse our Golden Club knew in 1973, and even different from the Converse of our recent 2020 graduates. Converse has always evolved, yet we have most recently turned the page to a distinctly new chapter. We're not a women's college. We are a co-ed university. We ask ourselves now, how will we continue to honor our traditions? How will we give today's students the education and skills to prepare them for that productive and fruitful life? But more so, how will we look to maximize the opportunity that change in and of itself presents? This is where I have the utmost confidence in President Hopkins for his leadership and vision. His presidency aligns with one of the most critical times in our institution's history. He has been a part of the Converse family as faculty for over a decade, and he understands the sense of belonging that Converse provides. He is someone who recognizes the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which creates this sense of belonging. He knows we are home to our students. As the identity of Converse continues to change, it's our liberal arts tradition that will develop our distinct identity as to who we are collectively becoming. We will always be a place of transformative education. A liberal arts education with its literature, history, and the arts creates a social responsibility and transferable skills. I am certain that President Hopkins shares this vision to maintain an atmosphere of innovation here. We will always be a place to empower students. I'm going to say it again, to see clearly, decide wisely, and act justly. To our Board of Trustees, thank you so much for stewarding our mission well, for your decisiveness, and for your selection of President Boone Hopkins. And to President Hopkins, We look forward with great anticipation to your leadership over a long and abundant tenure. On behalf of the 17,494 fellow Valkyries, welcome.
I didn't realize I was a red devil sitting between two pink panthers. Good morning and welcome faculty, staff, alumni, students, and friends of the Converse community. My name is Angela Brobson, and I have had the honor to serve my peers and work side by side with President Hopkins as Student Government Association President this past year. With the amount of transition that just my graduating class of 2023 has seen, including but not limited to the model change, COVID-19, and this historic event, we are so lucky to have Dr. Hopkins. He has worn many hats, or should I say bow ties, at Converse with roles such as professor, dean of the School of the Arts, interim provost, and now as president. Dr. Hopkins, in your new role as president of Converse University, you are entrusted with the students' past, present, and future. We know Converse's century-long legacy is in good hands, and please know that the students are behind you with our time, resources, and actions. It's fitting that your installation ceremony falls on the birthday of Dexter Edgar Converse. He founded Converse to encourage generations of students to see clearly, decide wisely, and act justly. The legacy you are inheriting is students who are global game changers, starting with their first year here. April 21st, what other events happened on this day? In 1977, the musical Annie opened on Broadway. In 753 BC, Romulus and his twin brother Remus founded Rome. One thing in common with Rome and Converse, they weren't built in a day. But one thing that Rome didn't have, that Converse does have, is President Boone Hopkins. Congratulations on your inauguration. Please enjoy a special commissioned composition in celebration of Dr. Hopkins' inauguration as Converse's 12th president.
and the flower moon grows full. The campus gardens, no longer crusted and crossed with winter's rigid sticks and stalks, the loamy earth turns fresh and promising, awakens under a fine green lace of dogwood and vine. These are the pliable days when azalea fill the horizon with thick brushstrokes of paint. Dawn, rising above the bell tower, coaxes us out, as does magnolia's fresh perfume along bricked pathways and columned halls. As for each of us, we grow too. We build a terrace or fill a gallery. We sculpt a face and plot a story. In the studied motions of the stars and comets, the calculus of dance, in the notes recorded in a lab, we discover a measure of grace and joy as well. Still, there is the sweating back, the tincture of grit running down the gardener's neck, and even the admission, this isn't easy. New beginnings, hard, dislodging settled soil, pale stems rising up but doubled over. Metaphor makes it possible to understand not every planted seed will grow. Roses fall to blight, morning glory fails its light, the ancient oak takes into heartwood lightning's fiery strike. But this is a real garden with real roots running deep. And every gardener knows in time a seedling unbends, thrusts skyward and releases its own flowering trumpets, its own branching, blossoming stars. The gardener need only keep to his patient labor and not nettle himself with losses. For eventually, that constant care leads every bloom to launch its life toward light.
you please join me as we install Boone Hopkins as Converse's 12th president? I'd like to invite his wife, Dean Chandra Hopkins, and their sons, Owen and Jack, to join him here on stage. What a lovely family. Presidential inaugurations are moments of great celebration and hopefulness. Today, Converse University celebrates its successes and looks with great anticipation to our new president, Boone J. Hopkins, as he prepares to lead this institution in fulfillment of the founder's ideal, which you've now heard at least 4 times: see clearly, decide wisely, and act justly. Dr. Hopkins' experience and success as a campus leader and as a champion for Converse has prepared him extremely well to advance the mission of this institution and to chart a vibrant, secure future for this university. He closely listens to his community, and he regularly incorporates feedback from staff, from faculty, from the community, but always with a student's first approach toward improvement. As an empathetic leader, Boone Hopkins fosters the growth of our students, our faculty, staff, and all the members of our community. It's now my great privilege to invest Boone J. Hopkins as the 12th president of Converse. There's more. I think you all approve. That's wonderful. By the authority of Converse University Board of Trustees, I hereby invest you as president with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities pertaining hereto. The Converse President's Medallion and the Converse Mace are symbols of that office, of the responsibilities that you now assume, and the authority that's invested in you to carry out those responsibilities. The medallion's weight reminds us of the great significance of the office of the President in the life and the future of Converse. The shining link bearing President Hopkins' name was donated by Carter Willard Smith, class of 1988, and it now joins with the names of each of the Converse presidents in the past, reminding us of the strength of tradition that helps to guide presidents through the years.
Converse's mace represents the governing authority of the university. This substantial mace bears the names of Converse's academic departments and its spiral elements, symbolizing the central educational mission of Converse and the essential connection between the president and Converse's outstanding faculty. The mace is borne by Grand Marshal, an honor bestowed upon Dr. Patricia Foy this year.
By accepting the medallion and the mace, you embrace the trustees' charge to serve Converse with diligence, vision, and integrity as you carry out the duties of the president. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present you the 12th president of Converse.
Wow. How do you take the podium with a heart so full? Oh, it's phenomenal. Thank you all so much. Students, I want to begin with you. Congratulations for going over an hour without looking at your phone. That is incredible. I know many of our students have been waiting to see what the joke I select from the campus-wide joke contest will be. I'll tell you all, I have a joke about construction. I'm still working on it. There were so many that were so much worse. Trustees, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends, welcome to our Converse. I sincerely thank you for sharing this deeply personal, historic event with me and with our campus. The gratitude that I feel today exceeds all bounds. I am grateful for this community that has not only welcomed my family with open arms, that has been committed to Converse's mission since our founding in 1889. Thank you, Mayor Jerome Rice, for being here for the city of Spartanburg today. To the state of South Carolina, I am grateful for your continual belief in the transformative power of education, so its residents can learn and grow and achieve the unimaginable. Thank you to the Honorable Max Hyde for being here on behalf of the Palmetto State. For Converse's past presidents, represented here today by President Betsy Fleming, who led our campus with unwavering joy and enthusiasm, I express my deepest appreciation. I remember that meeting on April 12th, 2012. It was Betsy who first shared with me the creativity and innovation and transformation that lives at 580 East Main Street. And Betsy, every day I enter that office where we first met, I recall our interview, and I'm unendingly grateful for the investment you made in Chandra and me. Thank you for seeing things in us that we didn't even know we had. Isn't pouring belief into other people what Converse is all about? And I extend my heartfelt gratitude for the incredible leaders of this institution who have poured their hearts into the hallowed halls of our beloved Converse. Welcome, President Sandra Thomas and President Nancy Oliver Gray. What an honor it is to welcome you both back today. And I thank, yes, please. And I thank President Krista Newkirk, who sadly could not be with us today, but who was a source of guidance and support for me and for our entire community, especially as we mourn the loss of our 11th president and my dear friend and mentor, the consummate champion of Converse, Dr. Jeffrey H. Barker. On this, the 21st day of April, it's been exactly 21 months today that we lost our incredible teacher and friend. And we all live in the shining light of his leadership and care for this campus. I stand before you all today forever grateful for the leadership of our Board of Trustees, those dedicated guardians of our mission whose stewardship has guided us across generations. And today, I especially celebrate Chair Sandra Morelli and Vice Chair Wallace Prestwood, who have remained steadfast in their love for their alma mater and in careful leadership of the Converse Board over these many years of transition. I appreciate our weekly calls and the free-flowing exchanges of ideas that we have more than you will ever know. And for my incredible family, represented by my mother, Dr. Marcia Roberts Hopkins, who told you a little bit more about me today than maybe I wanted to. But Mom, you have shown me so much love, and Dad, so much care over the years and for my whole life. And I shall never repay it, but I will endeavor to carry forward with the unbridled affection that it was shared with me. So thank you, Mom and Dad, and to all of my brothers. And my dear heart, Chandra, my one true love. I knew as soon as I met you as a 20-year-old theater major at Brenau University that life would be so much better if I kept close to you. And I know every day I was right. My love for you echoes beyond all bounds and reverberates in the blessings of amazing Owen and incredible Jack. Boys, I hope you know today how much your father loves you and how proud I am of the young men you are becoming, and how much faith I put in the world we are preparing for your generation. Faith. Isn't faith a precarious piece of work? It's rooted in knowing where you are while simultaneously pulling yourselves toward an unknown for a shared hope in something that we cannot yet see. I'm convinced that all of us as humans who together share this mortal coil are doing the very best we can by carrying a light forward into the future. We live in challenging times, as you've heard today, for our state, our nation, and our world, and nothing is certain. And yet, in moments of doubt and even fear, I take great comfort and a renewed sense of resolve when I imagine the hopeful determination of our forebears. The same perseverance and fierce faith of all of our ancestors applies to Converse, too. President Gwathmey, the third president of Converse, stepped into his new office at the height of the Depression. With enrollment declining by more than half, a down economy, and forced reductions in budgets and faculty, I'm sure President Gwathmey was convinced that there was not enough light by which to see. And yet, in his inaugural address, with the hope of something he could not yet behold, President Gwathmey explored the enduring value of a traditional education based in real-world applications. He asserted that, quote, Converse now stands forth as a champion of a fast-reviving cultural movement. And it's my dream, and I'm ready to stake the success of my administration upon its fulfillment, that the future Converse graduates will be the torchbearers of that cultural movement. End quote. This dream did not belong solely to President Gwathmey. The staff, the faculty, the students, and the supporters remain strong in their faith that Converse is a special place, a place where we could innovate and transform, and they carried the light forward and propelled Converse out of the Great Depression and toward future success. They were the torchbearers, and now students, friends, community members, and colleagues, now so must we be. Together we will lean in with faith and carry the light of Converse forward so that not only all of us, but future generations of scholars, artists, athletes, and dreamers will experience the transformative power that Converse offers, the promise of education. And my friends, the world needs education now. Our city, state, and nation, all of its citizens who possess the ability to think deeply, thoughtfully, and critically about society's most challenging problems need to work together now in community with others. Converse has and will continue to deliver on our mission as we educate our students to become transformative leaders. For you see, today we not only celebrate my inauguration as Converse's 12th president, but we also mark Founders Day, a time in which we reflect on the foresight of our founder, Dexter Edgar Converse, a father who had faith in his daughter, in her ability to access a world-class education right here in Spartanburg, and who believed education is essential to, quote, the well-being of any country, end quote. Today, we remain steadfast in our commitment to that mission, to learn and grow not only essential skills, intellectual depth and knowledge, but also in our compassion and empathy. Students, I will tell you, our world needs you today. We are in the midst of a global transformation, and during these times of change and uncertainty, where the very rules we live by are called into question, you too will have your faith tested. But it is in these same moments, I'm convinced, where our greatest successes lie. Together, we will tackle some of the most complex and challenging problems of our time. Together, we'll ask questions like, how will artificial intelligence shape human knowledge? What is our ethical responsibility to each other in a world of increasing and often conflicting global perspectives? And how does access and opportunity become redefined in a world in which vast and seemingly endless streams of information can be found on a tiny computer that goes everywhere with you in your pocket? We are in a new situation, faced with new problems and with the people we have never encountered. And the question is, how will you respond? Converse graduates and all those who believe in and champion the promise our institution will never give up, we are the leaders our world needs. Those who are bold enough to find hope and optimism even when we feel our backs are against the wall. The grit, creativity, and adaptability, these are our raw materials, the raw materials that a liberal arts education has always provided. And they are the skills that will continue to endure. And students, I tell you today that you are not alone. You join generations of Converse alumni who have proven time and time again that they are adept and ready to rise and meet the challenges of tomorrow by becoming the game changers of today. Like those who came before us, we are so much stronger when we remain true to our values and lean into supporting one another. Similar to our communities and our world, Converse too is experiencing a great transformation. At Converse today, we stand on the precipice of a powerful renaissance, a renaissance for higher education. And like the tectonic cultural shifts of 15th century Florence and the 1920s Harlem in our own nation, I believe we must aim to reimagine what an education can be by remaining relentlessly student-focused and committed right here to our local community as we address the needs of Spartanburg and chart pathways to bright careers for our graduates right here in this city, Converse's home. This Converse transformation begins today as we launch a brand new vision of the liberal arts that bridges deep learning with the skills students need to turn their passion into their profession, and one that recognizes that our students and their success in life after college is our responsibility. We are a campus committed to the powerful understanding that success, true success, is never achieved until it is shared. So on this historic Founders Day, I stand before you with a deep belief that we must commit ourselves to become the next generation of leaders who rethink tradition without losing our foundation, who bravely and boldly reimagine the limits of knowledge while remaining tethered to truth, and who faithfully carry forth the light of Converse. This was, is, and always will be our Converse. And I pour my faith and belief into all that we will build together with an unending hope. Together, my friends, we will. Thank you.
President Boone, I'm going to ask that you join me here at the podium. President Boone, you are genuinely loved and valued by our students here at Converse. Your passion, dedication, and ever-joyful energy is truly unmatched and has brought solace to many during these past few years of uncertainty and change. Today, the student body presents to the campus community a gift to honor you, a token of our appreciation for all that you are going to do for Converse, as well as all that you have already done. We know that you value students and their experience at Converse. We also know that you have a playful spirit. The student body gifts the campus with a new outdoor gathering space with swings and a fire pit to provide additional opportunities for students to connect and embrace all that Converse has to offer. The intention of this space is to foster a calm and restful environment that we believe resonates with their playful spirit and ability to connect with students. We have heard that you love a good sweet treat, so we hope you have fun, and we hope you will join us and spend some time having some more fun outdoors at Converse. Today, we gift you with your own personal marshmallow roasting kit. Although no gifts can fully embody our appreciation for you, we are excited to hang out and connect with you in this new space. President Boone, thank you for all that you do for the Converse students. Congratulations on your official inauguration. Please stand and join us in singing Converse's alma mater, which can be found in your program.
Will you all please remain standing with me as we say the benediction, and the recessional will follow. Now go out from this place in celebration as we embrace new beginnings for our campus community. May we be called to a life of service, constantly working for the prosperity and betterment of the world around us. May we strive to live lives of humility and compassion and be dedicated to resiliency and growth, always remembering that we rise best by lifting others up. May the joy that we felt this day go with you and remain with you for all the days to come. Amen. Congratulations, President Boone.